And welcome in to the live hang, everybody. That was 8 seconds, just to give you a frame of reference of how long you need to inbound to basketball. I am Chuck Mockler. Welcome to Clips and Dip, a happy hour hang, kind of a sad hour, given the state of the Clippers. William Updike is here, Adam Osland. We are joined by Justin Russo. Justin, thank you for coming on. If you're listening to this and you missed this, you can find us at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. How are we doing? I feel broken, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think last night's loss might have broken me. Justin, how are you?
I'm actually doing great.
Happy.
I mean, the team's not, but I'm doing fantastic.
Selfish.
Will?
Man, personally, I'm doing fine. I'm not having any amount of fun watching this team. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I know we're all doing great and things could not be better. Team-wise, difficult. Adam, how are you? How have you been dealing with the callers? How was it last night on Clippers Talk?
You know, the callers are always better than the chatters. It turns out people that will say nasty things in a chat room or a forum or on X are nowhere to be found most of the time when it comes to actually calling in a show and discussing something. It's been rough, but I'm built for it. I've been with this for 2 weeks now, thinking that when is this going to get better? When is this going to turn around? And starting to feel very remote that possibility is still in the cards.
Yeah, they have the third worst winning percentage in the NBA. I'm convinced at this point they might lose a game on a shot clock violation. Like, they're finding ways to just, I don't even know if crumble is the right word. Shatter.
Unravel.
Yeah, that's good.
Honestly, if you would have told me before the game, because we put the over under at 8, I think, something like that they were going to lose by to the Rockets.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, if it was that close of a game, I from a distance, I'd be like, that doesn't seem so bad. Like, that's kind of an encouraging loss. And then you see the way they lost, and there's absolutely nothing encouraging about it.
Justin, what do we think is contributing to this?
They're bad, and bad teams find ways to lose games.
Is it just as simple as that?
Yeah.
How did they forget how to play basketball, though? There's 100 combined years of NBA experience on the roster.
That's it.
I just think that in fourth quarters they get worn down because their best players have to play a lot of minutes to keep them in games, and they get exhausted, and that's why the end of games just looks terrible. I mean, their last 3 losses, they were all tied late in the fourth.
Yeah.
And they lose through some random acts that, I mean, the teams that are beating them are just playing better, and they're better teams. So, and you're on the road, and stands the reason you're not going to win those games. And it's kind of funny because, as Will said, if someone told you before the game you're losing by 2 on the road to the Rockets, you're like, oh, okay. If someone told you you're losing by 3 on the road to the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
But then you see how it happens, and you're just like, well, this is actually worse than if you I wish I didn't know that's how they lost. So
I wish we'd just gotten blown out. It'd be like, no, it wasn't even close. We had no shot in that game. They had too much talent. They were too young, too fast.
I mean, they're 3-17 in their last 20 games, which, I mean, I know their record is 6-19 overall, but they were 3-2 at one point. They weren't terrible. Right. They weren't playing great, but they weren't terrible. And you look up and it's like, Jesus, what's even I mean, I think in the fourth quarter against Houston, the Rockets ran the same Kevin Durant, Şengün pick and roll 4 straight times. And I think they got baskets or free throws on all of them. And you're just like, at some point, you guys got to figure out how to defend that. And It just didn't happen. And that's a bad team thing.
Zoo looked great, though.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
I wish he had more shots. He only missed 1.
I lost it a little bit post game. Somebody called in and was like, I get what you're saying. Those 3-pointers by Kawhi and James Harden were a little bit unnecessary. But then again, who else do they have out there to pass to? And I immediately blurted out, Zubac. Zubac was 13 of 14 from the field. If somebody misses one shot, they probably should be taking more than 14 in a ball game. I don't know. It just feels like same old story. They forget about Zoo.
Missing one shot is something that you do when you're like 3 for 4 and you're a bench guy. You know what I mean? Like it should, like, you shouldn't have one missed shot with 14 attempts when your team is playing like they were. Justin, you brought up kind of as the game goes, they get worse. And the last 3 games, Kawhi's fourth quarters have been terrible.
Yeah, he gets worn out.
He's tired. Like,
yeah.
Y'all wanted the team to get out to quicker starts last year. They did it. What's the problem?
They didn't do that yesterday.
No, I just think he's just genuinely getting worn down. I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes. Was it the Houston game? He played like the 4th most first half minutes of his Clippers tenure.
Jeez,
and the only other games he played more were at the end of last season when they're trying to not be a play-in team. So
which killed them. I think
he played 26 minutes in that first half because of the red card, right?
The red, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
No, I just think he gets worn down, and we've seen it from everybody too. Like James has been worn down in second halves at times. It's happened to Kawhi. It's happened to Zoo a little bit at times. It's just they just don't have the guys. They don't have the guys that they need. Like I know we can sit here and be like, oh, Bradley Beal wasn't really helpful, but you're missing a guard, and they're not getting him back, obviously, for the rest of the season, so it's going to be a problem the whole time.
Broken hip.
Yeah, just the most old team injury ever. If LeBron was here with the sciatic injury and the Bradley Beal broken hip, it'd be perfect.
I talked shit on the sciatica in the beginning of the year, and now I look like an idiot.
Look what you did. But also, like, not having Derek. Like, that's a big deal. That's another rotation guy.
Yeah.
And it's just taking a toll because now the bench lineups, they had to bring Brook Lopez back into the fold because their bench lineups weren't good.
And
like,
he's
weren't
not good.
Yeah. So it's
compounding issue.
It's honestly, it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy over and over. Like it's like the cycle you can't get out of, and you just got to hope your starters are good enough to kind of weather the storm to get you to where maybe the bench isn't killing you. And it's one of those things.
I keep thinking, break the cycle. Come on, somehow break the cycle, get over the hump, win one of these games. But in particular with last night's game, to me, fatigue isn't enough of an excuse because they're a veteran group. Nobody's even coming to inbound the ball at the end.
Oh my God, that was so bad.
That was embarrassing. And when I understand Kawhi's tired, that's why he's settling for threes. There's another option there. Ivica Zubac is destroying worlds. But it's that habit that has been going on forever with this team is crystallized. And even when Ivica Zubac is 13 of 14, he's still ain't going to get many touches. He's still going to be treated like he's still a rookie. Like he's still with Doc Rivers and getting pulled out in the first round series against the Golden State Warriors because
the team doesn't like easy solutions, Adam. Move on.
Well, I keep saying the easier path to win is playing through Ivica Zubac more, but they'll never do it.
We have a super chat, which we do acknowledge. If they're appropriate, we will talk about them. MB34012 is saying, can we take a deep dive on Kawhi leadership? It's not going to be deep. I never subscribed that shit, but your best player not being a leader doesn't work. I
think looking at this Rockets loss, it's clear like one person isn't turning this around. Like the level of dysfunction and lack of communication, like that's, I don't think this is stemming down to any one person. And maybe it is, like Justin alluded to, it is just like fatigue and stuff that's like compiling with some of this stuff. But this to me isn't like, they're not a locker room or huddle speech away from this thing getting turned around. And like I think that's like kind of the narrative we think about with these players who are like quote unquote leaders or whatever. But they had a player who is annoying but is regarded as a good quote unquote leader, and it certainly didn't make anything any better. Of course, he couldn't touch the floor, so that's a different conversation. But like I don't think that this is like a single player needing to like get on guys situation. This is like everybody should be so embarrassed at this point that I don't know how you couldn't
Shame should be the leader of this
I don't know how
team.
you couldn't be personally shamed enough into not playing better. Like I fully don't understand it. It makes it worse that it's a group of veterans. Like if we were talking about a younger team, it'd be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Like everybody's a dipshit. But
they didn't lose in 2021 because of leadership. They lost because Kawhi tore his ACL. It's an oversimplification talking about, oh, we don't have a leader. It's like, no, like turns out you can win. It's about the talent.
And it's also clearly like Harden is very much the guy who is, it's not his team, but Harden is brought up consistently by other guys as being kind of the leader of stuff. Not that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like this team is leaderless is the other part. Like, we're not floating around saying, oh, who's, bringing guys together. It's quite literally James Harden, which is great.
And should change every night. The leader should change every night. Why not?
You have the leader hat now.
When they beat Atlanta, they had better leadership that game. No, Atlanta was missing their two top guys, and the Clippers played well. Like that's what it was.
And can I just say, like I know people are going to scoff, but these last 4 games, they genuinely have looked good.
Yeah,
it's not like
defensively.
Yeah, like it's not like they've been terrible. And I understand some of that is being propped up by the Atlanta game, but even the 3 road games in Memphis, Minnesota, and last night, they were fine. They just blew it in the dumbest ways.
That's the issue. The issue is that it's not that like they're not looking better. It's just that they're 6-19. Like, yeah. I don't, like, great. They're looking better and lost. Like, I obviously want them to play good basketball, but it's like there's just been so many losses already that whatever. Like
20 losses.
Process isn't good enough.
20 losses before 10 wins is so dismal. Like
20 losses before 8 wins, maybe.
I never thought it would be possible for it to be that bad.
They're 2-10 in clutch games now. I mean, they've lost 8 games. Like if you look at it, a lot of their numbers say their record should be better than this. A lot of the numbers with the Lakers say their record should be worse than that. But I'm saying, like, to Justin's point, they have looked better than what their record is. Like the reason is in those close games, they're losing all the coin flips. And I'm not just, reducing it to a coin flip. It matters how you play down the stretch. And I do agree they've been getting tired. Like that's what you see.
If it were a coin flip. At this
point,
we'd have a better winning percentage.
There's a statistic in soccer that's called XG, which is expected goals, and basically like it determines how many, like on average, based on historical data, how many goals you would score each game based on where like you got your shots from and stuff. And teams outperform and underperform that all the time in games. It kind of feels like that's where the Clippers are. They're just underperforming what their underlying data is. But that doesn't matter because they're 6-19. And at a certain point, the data is the data, but you need the results that kind of go over that. And they're just not getting it through a myriad of reasons we can spend 7 days talking about. Like when you're a bad team, you just find ways to lose games, even if you have good players. That's just the way it is.
This comment from Chandasuk said, or could have had a 420 record. That is ruined. That is maybe the worst part of the whole year is that somehow was realistic, which is difficult. Someone put a comment about John Collins' production, which I would say I'm in this weird camp where I don't want to see a young guy traded away. Maybe I'm jaded by the fact that we have no youth really on the team, but he's also been has not been helpful very much for the team so far. So it's like, I think they should continue to give him a shot, but it's been a little disappointing from the John Collins aspect. He was better off the bench, which Tyler did get right. I think we can all kind of agree on that, but like, I want him to be better. And I just don't know. He's not rebounding. Even when we get good offensive games from him, we still lose. So I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but Like, what's the key, right? Like, what's the key to having John Collins more productive?
You were so close to just be like, what's the point?
I was very close to that. Like, do we just keep him, or are they going to trade him for DeMar DeRozan?
I could see them flipping him for someone or keeping him. I don't think they've actually decided as of this second. I genuinely think that they're just
They need
very
50
much
games. They need to be 12 and whatever the hell.
I think they very much just are trying to see like what their team even looks like. I think we kind of have like kind of undervalued, and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things just because of their record, but like we've kind of undervalued how little they've had their team together. Even if you just take away the Bradley Beal aspect, like
Of course.
like
Injuries have been a huge issue.
yeah, like last season at this point, I don't really think they had any injuries outside of just the fact that they just didn't have Kawhi.
Right.
So like their team was all together the whole time. So this season you go into camp with Kawhi, he gets hurt like literally in the 6th game, and he's out for 10 or 11 games. But Bradley Beal then fractures his hip and he's out. But before that, he was in and out of the lineup. And then while all that's happening, Bogey got hurt, and then Derek got hurt, and it's just this, this nonstop just stream of injuries that have kind of upset what your rotation should have been. And then the Chris Paul thing happened where he's being DMP'd, and then obviously now he's not with the team anymore.
Wait, what happened with Chris Paul?
Yeah, no one knows, So it's just kind of all that stuff, and I genuinely don't think they know what their team is. So I don't know.
So they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, like they still don't know. And the sad reality of the situation is the West playing, they're gonna have a chance. Like they're gonna get a chance. I know. They're gonna be close to that 10 seed, and that's gonna be the thing that could potentially, quote unquote, save their season. And you end up looking at the 9-10. Memphis is 11-13, which sounds terrible, but then you realize they're 5 games better than the Clippers, which is another sad thing to realize.
That also sounds terrible.
Yeah, and it could be.
Hold up. They can beat them on Monday night. They could beat them for the first time this season.
Damn right.
And you know what? They could also lose and be like 7 games back. Yeah, that could happen.
But if your best opportunity right now is to get in the 9th or 10th spot, that also means a first-round matchup at best with Oklahoma City, where you are going to get swept or gentlemen swept.
Iron sharpens iron, dude.
If that is your best case scenario, I think you got to take a real look at shaking this thing up.
I could not agree more, honestly. The only thing, I should not say that. One of the things that can contribute to this, to being one of the least enjoyable seasons in quite some time for the Clippers, would be getting 4-0'd with a minus 178 point differential against the OKC Thunder. That would be in a season of nightmares, that would be the sleep paralysis demon.
That would be
this Clippers team.
What some would say, like, that's the perfect ending or poetic justice to this era. They end up getting beat at the hands of their own trade with SGA killing them in a series.
This is so brutal.
It's like Victor Frankenstein getting the crap kicked out of him by the monster,
They're on pace for... How many games do we think they win, I guess? Like, honestly, now that we're 25 games in, yeah, there's been probably I assume there's going to be some kind of move made. How many games do we think this team wins? Are they going to track for this comment from Jimmy Williams for 20 and 62? Or do they flirt with 33?
What a hilarious flirtation that is.
Well, that's where we're at, dude. It's 135 at the bar, dude, and we are flirting with 33 wins.
What do you need? 35 wins to make the 10 seed? I guess the pen name?
You're probably going to need 35. Let's just assume 35.
Are they getting there?
And that might be on the conservative side based on whatever happens with Memphis. I
do have an 18-game parlay setup where they go 18-0 in March. So let's assume that cashes out.
By the way, first team in 10 seasons to play at least 18 games in March.
I thought
they didn't do it last year?
They did it
they had 17, 16.
They had a rescheduled one that I think fucked them over in March.
the Clippers and Detroit this year will both play 18 games in March. The last team to do that, I looked it up a couple days ago because I'm stupid. There was a season, I want to say, was it 15-16? I think it was, where the Clippers and Milwaukee Bucks both played 18 games as well in March.
Well, we'll be the first team to go 18-0 then.
Great, and they could
Do
come
we think
close
they
to
get to
being
33
500.
wins? Like, is it going to be like 27 wins?
I don't know if they get to 30. Like, you got to remember, there's 57 games left. So to get to 30, to get to 30, they got to win 24 of those 57, which I know sounds like, oh, well, then they're losing 33, so it's not that bad, but they're nowhere close to that pace right now.
Right.
I would say if they kept this roster the rest of the way, they would, but I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly,
yeah. You think it's going to get shaken?
I think we're going to see moves. Lawrence Frank said it. Justin, you were there. He said, if this roster isn't as good as I thought it was going to be, then we'll be extremely aggressive or something to that effect. Well,
he always makes trades.
They're 6-19.
He does always make trades. That is true.
I don't
want a shakeup. We'll probably get something. Lawrence Frank deals.
But the question is, he hasn't been in this position before, where there's a real opportunity here to punt on this season.
This is actually the best take of the whole year. The Clippers should have kept Ben Simmons.
He was badly used last season, dude.
He was badly used.
I mean,
oh wait, we can use this now. It's finally valid. All right, sorry, I've never used that yet. Go ahead, Adam.
No, I mean, he's cooking right now. He's really dominating for. Okay. Good luck to Ben Simmons and getting healthy and getting back into the league.
We wish you well.
This is uncharted territory for the Clippers in this era.
Yeah, quite literally in the last 15 years, it's their worst start.
So I don't know how to predict how Lawrence Frank is going to handle this. Is he going to be aggressive? A shakeup could mean you're just making lateral moves, like you mentioned, maybe trading somebody for DeMar DeRozan, trading John Collins. Does that make better chemistry with this team? Or is it more of a tear down and look towards the future?
If they get rid of athleticism.
What athleticism?
That's true, I guess.
What athleticism is there to get rid of?
Well, Collins. There's only one guy, and it's John Collins, and he's the only athletic guy on the team. So if we get rid of him, who is running down the court faster than anyone else on the other team?
He had a nice run out last night. He's had some nice plays that have been really encouraging the last couple of weeks. He has. But then he also has games that remind you that, this trade didn't work out the way we thought it was going to.
He doesn't grab boards. It's someone like if Brook Lopez is on the floor and Collins is on the floor, people don't grab rebounds.
The rebounding thing is like the biggest problem. And it's not like specifically just him, because it's an entire team-wide issue this year. But man, it sounds kind of sad to say. It's caused me to reevaluate how I look at players in bad teams and bad situations.
This season has caused me to reevaluate a lot, but
like I had talked to people who cover the Utah Jazz, and they told me like he had a great year last year, and he did. He genuinely had a very good year last year, and they said how great of a person he is. Great, he is a great person. This isn't anything against John Collins, the person. I just don't know.
Yeah, none of this is against the players as people.
Yeah, like I don't know what has happened to where maybe it's because he can't be a number 4. Like that could be a real thing. Like he fades in and out of like what his responsibilities are because he's not as engaged and stuff, which that does tend to happen to guys. We've seen that happen to guys throughout.
Like move him down to like when he was the 6th man, basically. He was effective.
Yeah, he had a bigger share of what an offensive workload would be, and now he's kind of just. It's not that they don't look for him enough. I just don't think he's putting himself in the right spots all the time. You could see he's still trying to learn how to play with guys. Like, he's trying to figure out where to be with Zoo on the floor. He's trying to figure out where to be with Kawhi, because him and Kawhi tend to weirdly occupy some of the same spots in the half court. Where like John wants to be near the elbow, and it's like, that's fine, but that's not you. And I wish he'd just stop shooting mid-range shots in general, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, it's a team-wide epidemic. But I look at John, it's just like, I don't know, is it just a bad year? Certainly possible. But also it's caused me to reevaluate how I look at guys who are on bad teams, but are performing well when you try to scale them to a role on a new team that isn't the same one that they had on the old team. Like he was the number 1, number 2 guy sometimes, like because Lauri Markkanen was in and out of the lineup. So things look better when you're getting 18 shots a night compared to like 10.
Yeah. He's also on the most talented team he's been on. I know he went to the Eastern Conference Finals thanks to Kevin Huerter cooking Philly in Game 7 and Ben Simmons not taking a shot. But he talked about the expectations and accountability coming into this season a lot with you guys, Justin, and like being held to a higher standard and stuff. And his processing has just looked slow for this Clippers team so far. And it could just be adjusting to a new team, or it could be a bad fit. I don't know.
Has the pace kept up? Remember we talked about that? Like we assumed the pace was going to slow down of the league as a whole.
It has.
Okay.
There's only one team now above 103, I think.
All right, so that's worse then. Never mind. Let's strike that from the record. That makes things feel worse.
It isn't the role he was brought into play, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been thrown into a starting lineup that he wasn't going to be a part of initially.
And it's missing other guy. Like, yeah.
Hold on. We heard everybody wanted him because you needed somebody for Aaron Gordon. You needed somebody for these bigger power forwards. He did not guard Aaron Gordon well.
He can't guard Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
He did not guard Julius Randle well recently at all. It is not a strength of his. Like the idea of John Collins is not matching on the court reality of John Collins against some of these fours.
I also kind of think this is just reinforced to the front office and the team that their best way forward is Kawhi Leonard at the 4. I generally think that's what they've actually kind of just realized is, hey, he was at the 4 for all this time and we were great. Now we tried to put him at the 3, and through all these other reasons, not just that, but like this isn't going how we thought. And somehow we're worse rebounding the ball when last year we were the best defensive rebounding team in the league. And now we just can't rebound. We're getting pushed around on the interior all night anyways.
They're not boxing out. They were just trying to jump with Houston yesterday. Like
which is also a very tired thing tired thing that teams do is like when you're tired, you don't box out anymore. You don't want to hit people, so you just jump for the ball. You're not out jumping Houston, okay? Like it's just not happening. Like it's not happening.
What do you think their second jump is compared to like everyone on the Clippers' second jump? Like,
and I saw the chat guy saying he shouldn't dribble ever again. No, he should not. He should not. I don't mean to sound rude. I don't think it's worked out one time. And if it has, I don't remember it. But like, just don't dribble.
I will say, you mentioned them jumping for that rebound late, and then the and one from Amen Thompson, which was really one of the big deciding factors in the game. The effort has been there over the last few weeks. Like for the most part, I have had zero.
That's why they're so tired
with the effort. Maybe so.
I mean, right? You gotta
right. They're playing hard. That's the downside to it. So everybody's getting on them. Why do they look so bad late in the game? Because they're gassed, because they're still playing hard out there, except for one play. And that was at the very end, and they didn't have a timeout, and that was just embarrassing and the low point of the season on the court to me. And that was like Nico Batum having to run over there while James Harden and Kawhi Leonard are near half court like they think there's 1 second left instead of 8 seconds left.
Right.
And yes, I know they were going to foul intentionally up by 3, but you have to see that through and extend the game. That was just...
Will, what's been your low point? Was yesterday your low point?
That's got to be up there. Yeah.
It's close. That's really bad. I think the 30 to whatever run was maybe mine.
Yeah.
That was just you don't see
that was Miami?
Yes. You don't see that a lot.
Not enough.
Honestly, I hope. Yeah, I'd love to see it again, but I'd love the Clippers to.
I'm good on the John Collins experiment, though. Like, if we traded him, I'm not losing any sleep. I'd actually like.
That's what's difficult.
If we were fully healthy and he was in that and he was in that sort of like backup 4, small ball, backup 5 kind of role, like I think that kind of makes sense. I was never as sold on the John Collins idea that so many Clippers fans were like chomping on the bit at. I didn't really like.
You won't find any now. They don't exist. That never happened. They weren't talking about him for years.
For years.
It's very funny to think they all wanted Norm traded for John Collins, and that's exactly what happened, and it just hasn't worked out. Not to say that's the only problem with the team. I know I keep saying that, but like sometimes the devil, you know, you just stick with the one you know.
Well,
people were killing Norm after the playoff series against Denver, and it's like there's a bigger picture here. And they still won 50 games, and the regular season still matters. And you can't just totally discount that because a guy has a bad playoff series.
The low point to me,
50 this year, right?
If they won 50 this year, it'd be the most impressive feat in sports.
They would make a movie out of it, and it would be like Angels in the outfield, and like it would be.
They'd have to go what 44 and
44 and 13 or whatever.
44 and 17 the rest of the way.
Doable. Mathematically,
it's like that. It's like on the whiteboard that teams put up, like for motivation. Why not us?
44.
Why not us?
13. They're like, what the
fuck? The low point for me was the Dallas game. Like from an actual like, oh no, it's just over. Like just being there for that was it was because of how it happened too. It was. Of all the guys to let go off, it's the one guy that you've played against more than anybody, and you know what he can do. And veterans were messing up the coverages, and it was just like, oh yeah, no, you're just not there. Like, and then obviously the Miami, like getting pasted in Miami late in the second quarter and into the third was a thing, but they've actually rebounded from that very well. It just hasn't mattered. So
that's the thing. I'm like, just the results have been difficult. I do want to the loss.
They played awesome the last 4 games, guys. Real talk.
Hang your hat on that. I do want to talk about, because of the Houston thing, it was kind of a thing on Twitter, the media availability stuff, which seemed weird. Justin, you reached out to ask the Clippers like what happened. They told you that there wasn't anyone there. And then Houston reporter Kelly Iko, who is a very good, legit reporter, said that there were people there and people ready to transcribe. It's weird. And I also think La Murray was talking about this, and Miriam Swanson, how hard it is to be independent media. Like, you can't go to Houston for this game. Like, that's not how this shit works. So like, beat guys can't really go to it. Do we think that were there people there? Did they just not want to have? Was Ty Lue just like not wanting to talk to the media? What do we think happened here?
So when Kelly tweeted that, I was immediately like, as a media member, I'm concerned because that's like,
of course,
it's a big story if they flat out declined to do media. Like, that's a big deal to me. I've had that happen in a post game with a player, and I was like okay, but like, you never see that out of coaches really anymore. So I was like, oh shit. Like, and especially at a tie, I don't think Ty's ever declined to do media. I think I racked my brain last night trying to think about it. I couldn't recall a single time he's declined to do media.
What if he had diarrhea? He was simply sick to his stomach from how poorly the team has been playing.
It'd be understandable.
No one brought that up. So
you shouldn't have to release a statement if you have diarrhea. You can just say, "Oh, we thought nobody was there. That's our bad."
No, you should release a statement because everyone's like, "Oh shit, okay, all right, okay."
So I reached out. So I reached out just to find out, and I was told that by the time Ty had made his way into the room, no one was in there, and that was kind of the gist of it. And I was told, like, because James Harden did a post game last night in the locker room,
right?
So I was kind of like, okay, so James did it, but not Ty, but like, all right. So, and then Kelly says, obviously, well, no, there were people in the room. What I will say, that's a great comment, by the way.
That would have worked. No one would care. Anyway, sorry. He was absolutely right somehow.
So What I will say is at Intuit Dome this year, for people who don't know where media sit, we're on the 3rd level and the press room is on level 1. I don't know what it is in Houston, but I'm just giving that for the clarification of what has happened sometimes this year at Intuit is after a Clipper game, which has been losses for the most part, what has taken place is Ty has gone very quickly to do post game.
Got it.
From the time there was one instance that from the time I made it from level 3 down to level 1, and I went down through the bowl section, not through the elevator, which can take longer. I went down through the bowl section. It took me about 90 seconds after the final buzzer. Ty was already in there talking.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know how quickly, like I said, I wasn't there in Houston. I don't know how quickly he made it from final buzzer to into the room, saw, and according to their messaging, saw no one was in there, and then was just like, all right, like I can go. So I don't know the logistics of the time. I will
add this. It's not the first post game recently on the road that he hasn't done anything because there hasn't been media there.
Correct. The last time he did media was December 3rd in Atlanta. And that's been it. That's the last time he spoke to any media member on the record for anything. Not to say he's been ducking the media. It's just that's just the way it is because
it happened with the Timberwolves recently. Chris Finch talked about it.
There hasn't been traveling media to quite a few of these road games.
Right.
It just is what it is. And so if there's no media there, for the most part, coaches will not talk. At least Ty hasn't talked.
Yeah.
I don't know the logistics for every other team in the league, obviously. I'm just saying, like, I think both things could be true, and I won't know until I talk to more people. Both things could be true. Ty could have went in there right after the final buzzer. No one was in there. They just left. And people could have went in there and waited for him, and he just didn't show up just because of the timing aspect of everything. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm just giving plausible scenarios. So I don't know. It's an interesting situation. Like I said, as a media member, it made me wonder, like, what the hell's going on.
Right. It was more just confusing. Like, not pointing any fingers or anything. It was just like, what?
Justin, you said by the time Ty got there, they were gone. It made me wonder because the media member that responded to you on Twitter said they went there immediately after.
Right.
Isn't it possible they got there so quickly? Coach Lou took some time, and by the time he got there, they had already left, assuming he wasn't coming.
I guess it's possible. Kelly did say that they were told he's not talking. So I don't.
That's the part where I'm like, what the hell? Like,
but see, I'm not there, so I don't know where that conversation took place. I'm not, like I said, I'm not refuting what Kelly said.
Right.
Kelly was there. I'm saying what I was told and then trying to, I guess, understand. I'm trying to understand, like, what the situation was. Now, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it is a concerning situation where it was relayed as one thing and it entirely could have been that. And then I asked for clarification, get another thing. So I'm trying to, I'm demented in the head. So I'm trying to, build how this is all possible on both sides to where they're both accurate and true. Because, there's one side, there's the other side, and somewhere in the middle, there's probably the truth. And I don't know what actually happened. So, yeah. It
plays into just
it's a shit season.
What the hell is going on of this season?
It's a shit season and a shit situation, and it just all comes together on one night and on one balmy Thursday evening in Houston, Texas.
You're turning to Jim Leahy talking about this season. Yeah, they got the Grizzlies Monday night at Intuit. The Grizzlies will have Ja Morant back, which helps the Clippers.
I wouldn't be so sure anymore.
I am so intrigued as what the fan, specifically the Wall and the Swell vibes are going to be on Monday. Adam, what do you think the vibe is going to be at Intuit on Monday against the Grizzlies?
I've been saying for a bit, they've probably been fortunate to be out there on the road because the fan base has been so upset from what I've been hearing post game all the time. I wonder, you get smoked at home. You lose games the way they've been losing them at home. The fan base, you're probably going to hear some boos. These are paying customers. They're upset right now. They want a winning product. They thought they were going to be much better than this. So it's a difficult situation. My hope is that they're actually going to help elevate this Clippers team out there and give them a boost.
I have many gripes with this team, but you gotta a little bit feel for the ticket reps right now, because I'm seeing some screenshots that they're definitely trying to get people who have been long-term season ticket holders, people who have bought VIP packages, certainly for this season and since Intuit Dome, to renew right now. And oh my God, I cannot think of something I would much less rather do than spend a bunch of money ahead of time to commit to 42 games of this in another season.
Can I just say, I think being a ticket rep with this team this season might be the toughest job in America.
I think most seasons, because guys get hurt all the time. People are always talking about like they're raising our prices. I don't know if guys are going to play.
And that's the thing. The rates,
and now they're also losing.
Gone up every single year, and from what I understand, considerably with the move to Intuit. I guess makes sense. It's a new stadium or whatever. But buddy, talk about a bunch of flack you don't deserve for doing your job.
Yeah, I just hope fans are not being mean to the ticket reps who are just trying to do a job yeah, like it's. I mean, Adam said fans might boo.
They're going to get confiscated.
You should boo.
Here's the thing:
if they're getting smoked by the Lakers like next week at home, that happens at sporting events.
No, what I was gonna say though is like, I'm kind of surprised they haven't yet.
Like Adam said, they haven't. It's the worst of the season. They've been gone.
Sure, but there weren't even really boos after the Memphis and Dallas games. Like even during that, when they were blowing those games,
yeah.
But it wasn't a blowout, is the thing. Like I think there's a difference. It builds when there's a blowout going on.
Yeah, I also just think that I don't know. I've seen so much happen overseas in Europe with soccer teams and the way that fans are on teams and front offices and ownership groups.
Good healthy relationships. A lot of clubs have their support, their ultras.
So it's funny. I don't know. If you're a fan, be vocal. If it's your money you're spending, and I feel like you should be vocal about that. And this is also just another thing I have lately where it's I saw the World Cup ticket prices and I nearly had an aneurysm.
Let's actually real quick.
$25,
dude.
Yeah.
They've also you have to pay a fee to reserve the chance to buy a ticket. There's no limit on the resells for World Cup tickets. There used to be a limit that you could only sell them for X amount over. They removed all that. Anyway, it's insane. And it's demand-based pricing too. So it's like a goddamn nightmare. So the cheap seats are actually really expensive because so many other people want them.
They raised the ticket prices after the draw happened, which I understand.
So fucked up.
I understand that happens. It happens with March Madness all the time. Is another thing, and same thing with
yeah, it doesn't mean it's not fucked up, but
well, yeah, no, it is. But that's my point though. Is it's ridiculous. You're taking advantage of people, and I kind of feel like fans can make their voices heard in very unique ways. And one of them, obviously, is you go to a game and you just boo. The other thing I've seen fans do is not do anything. I've seen fans who go to a game and in protest will make no noise. And that's actually an eerie protest of sorts.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, and it does send a message though, because having no emotion is quite jarring to see in person.
No emotion.
Didn't the Suns talk about that last year with Devin Booker? Their fans were just there's just apathy.
They should do 6 minutes of silence for the 6 wins that we have. So no chanting from the wall for 6 minutes.
The other thing
to start the game.
That would actually be crazy. I mean, in Europe, there was a protest this past weekend for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the English Premier League. They're in the midst of basically the worst.
What are you talking about?
Well, just hear me out for this. They're in the midst of literally the worst Premier League season by any team in history. Okay,
damn.
Through I think it's through the first 15 games they have 2 points. It's absolutely they're terrible.
They're really Clippersing it over there.
It's worse. Okay, it's like the Wizards but worse somehow. But what's ended up happening was the fans in a protest. There was, I think, thousands of fans who didn't show up into the stadium until like 15 minutes into the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like half the stadium is empty, and then fans 15 minutes in just came in, and it's like it still sends a message. But the other thing I was gonna say is like, don't spend money on a product that isn't delivering to the level you want it to. It's the main thing. I'm an Angels fan, but it's my number one. It's my number one gripe with Angels fans.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I know.
Jesus Christ, man.
I know it's rough, buddy. But
that's the worst. That's the hardest fandom out of all four of us. I think of all of the sports that we like. That's terrible.
I told people my number one thing with the Angels has been, why are fans still spending money on a product that A, doesn't care about you to put out a winner, and B, that's nice. Way to go, Steven.
Absolutely nice. We need it.
Hell yeah. But why are you spending money on a product that isn't giving you anything and is very terrible and just isn't valuing your relationship with the team? So I'm telling fans, I'm not saying to fans they have to boycott or anything. I'm just saying
of course,
if like just speak up or don't show up. Like those are the options. Like at the end of the day, like if you want to see any change, make it happen. It's going to be on them because fans at the end of the day hold the power.
You're a voting with your dollar kind of guy.
I would like to
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Set apart Steve Ballmer from Artie Moreno, who is notoriously cheap.
Yeah, let's not. Right.
The Angels have been run extremely poorly for 15 years now, while the Clippers have been winning. They haven't won at the highest level, and he built them a new stadium, and he very much cares about the fans.
Correct.
But
my
fans have a right to be able to boo and voice their displeasure. But I hope they try to give them a lift. Give them a lift. They're returning home. Let's try to turn this thing around. Get a win over Memphis Monday night.
And they're trying to win games, right? Like we said, like
if they were giving no effort,
losses.
Right. If it would be one thing if they were dogging it and giving no effort. They're losing late. They can't get over the hump late. It feels like a mental block right now.
Yeah, I do agree. By the way, I'm not sitting here and saying like from the opening tip, just bash the team. Like they are trying, and you should try to uplift your team. I'm just saying, like
at the end of that point,
at the end of the day, fans do have a voice, and I am urging just fans, you do matter, and just try to make your voice heard. If nothing is changing, I feel like
don't send us 6-team failed trade machine screenshots. Go to the game or don't go to the game, and boo or don't boo. Like that.
I think
tell the team.
Will, what do you think the over-under is on confiscated signs for the home game against the Grizzlies?
I think that I'm actually kind of on board with Adam's thing. Like they have been on the road for a long time.
I hope that, but
I'm hoping that there's a positive reception and it yields to a better result. But I do think that, like if fans want to be heard, that's the place to do it.
9.5 is my guess. I think they're going to have to confiscate at least
one half of a sign.
Yeah. One half of a sign. They're going to,
they have not won a home game since Halloween. Do you know how long ago that was?
Well, they only won 2 games in the month of November, didn't they?
Yes, but I'm just saying they haven't won at home since Halloween.
Great Halloween. Dodgers won.
Was a great Halloween.
What do we think of the MPJ rumors? I don't want his podcast on this team, and he's hurt all the time.
Adam, your silence is
you're an MPJ guy.
What are they giving up? I don't know his current contract situation.
It's 38, isn't it?
Somebody in here earlier in the chat, I think that Mexican Nara was like, "Oh, Adam's finally on board with the shakeup." I think I said 2 weeks ago, if you're willing to trade guys, I'm fine with that as long as you're not bringing back bad contracts. You have to
listen. Yeah.
One expiring contract for another. Something, if they're going to make a move, do not limit yourself in the future from that plan ultimately in 2026 and 2027 to have more room.
100%. And I think that's we're not saying stand pat. MPJ is at $38 million this year.
Called it.
40.8 next year, and then an unrestricted free agent in 27-28 when he will be 29 years old. And no doubt
he checks my criteria then. He's a free agent in 2027. If you're just trading out guys that would be free agents in 2027 for more guys that would be free agents in 2027 to try to shake things up, to try to try something different, I'm okay with that.
And he seems like a high IQ guy.
Oh yeah, I think of all the content he'd be able to produce in Los Angeles,
which is what this team needs.
Yeah, we need. You know what this team needs is actually really big distractions off the court, other than the aspiration scandal. Which, Adam, I think it was a week or so ago. Time has moved very interesting for Clippers fans. But you kind of mentioned, like, do we think the aspiration deal is weighing on them at all? And I don't.
I didn't say that.
No, you asked. Oh, you asked if it would make Kawhi harder to trade.
Yeah.
Does it? Do we think it does? Justin, for those of you listening to this later, Justin is silently nodding in a gray hoodie.
Yeah, it does. I talked with someone when they were home recently.
Was it Kawhi?
There's like a murkiness about whether or not he can be traded because of the investigation.
Just because it's so, not because people think that he's guilty or whatever, the Clippers, just because of what is happening, because you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Yes, it's sort of like the Terry Rozier situation where like there's a murkiness.
God, it's not though. Jesus.
Well, no, I'm just saying though, from like a trade aspect where like there's murkiness about whether Rozier can even be traded.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
And
yeah,
granted, it's further down the line as far as he's concerned in terms of what has happened, but there's still like a general thought from who I talked to that even the league is like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And because like nobody knows. So I don't know. Truth be told, I don't think Kawhi is getting traded. Not because of the investigation. I just think that they'll go to him and they'll let him know, like, hey, it's whatever you decide. I think he still wants to be here.
And his value is really weird to calculate.
Yes.
I mean, we've said for a long time they're not going to blindside him because of what happened with Blake. They're not going to go down that road again. He's going to have to agree upon this. Yeah, I wouldn't think. But okay. My question though then is if you can't trade Kawhi, can you also then just not have a teardown? Because what, you're going to trade everybody but Kawhi and just have him with a bunch of young guys? Is that realistic, you think?
Damn, that's a good point.
I don't think there's any pathway for them that is super clean. I think it's
fair.
I think you kind of just play it as it happens.
Those Bucks looking clean in 2027, though, Justin. Looking real clean.
Sure.
But they have there is a hellscape currently right now between us and 2027. It feels like when you say 2027, the way the season's going, it feels like I'm in 1992. And I'm like, that is so far away. I'm not. That's a fake year, man.
Have you guys seen the John Mulaney bit when he talks about 2030? That's not a real year.
Yeah.
I genuinely think they're going to play it by ear and take it as it comes, because hypothetically, I'm not reporting anything. Obviously, I'm just saying, like, if a team calls you and offers you 2 firsts for Ivica Zubac, hypothetically, do you take it? Like, you're not going to get
this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, 1 first this year, hypothetically.
No, I know that. Yeah,
like,
if it's 2 firsts and one of them is this year, and we I don't.
Well, who's the team?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to depend on team, but also like
Boston, I guess. Like, that's the most what are the realistic options?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't know.
Pacers wouldn't do it because why would they're going to have a good pick this year.
I'm telling you right now, if the Pacers call them and give them it,
well, yeah,
that's a top 10 pick.
That's a top, that would be a no-brainer.
The Clippers' luck, Zoo would be so good. He would deliver them to the play-in, and you just be like, all right. Like, what do you do?
He puts up 35. He averages 35, 13, and 9.
But I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, if you get 2 firsts for Zoo, or a team comes calling for Derek because Derek's been good when he's been on the floor.
I know. I love Derek Jones, so dude.
Or if a team does come calling for James and James is totally acceptable to the trade, or James comes to them and says, hey, this isn't going as well as either of us would have hoped. Can you move me to so-and-so? what do you do?
My point is, if you trade one of James or Kawhi, like, you just got to do all of it then at that point, right? It's a domino effect. Like, you're going to trade
That's what I
James,
would hope,
but not
yeah.
Kawhi. How would Kawhi feel if everybody else is getting picked off and he's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the final episode in the empty room? It doesn't make sense. It seems weird. Is that how they would get Kawhi on board with wanting to move on? Because he sees that this group is no longer on his timeline.
Yeah, it's like, Kawhi, we're going to trade everybody but you.
Don't worry, we will not trade you unless you sign off on it. We will trade everyone else, and that could move him to a place where he's more comfortable being traded. I don't know.
It could be that. It also could just be, and I know fans aren't going to want to hear this, it could also just be a situation where they wait till the offseason because it's easier to do any of this.
That's what I think is going to
happen.
In
The offseason, yeah.
Right?
I talked to someone the other day, and I know this is hard to rationalize, but after 14 straight winning seasons and playing good basketball, they kind of are due for a bad year.
Yeah.
Like, they should have had it last year in all actuality. And instead, they were just played over their heads, and now it happened this year. So is it just one of those things where everyone just accepts, hey, man, this year just went to crap real fast. We don't really have any other we don't have any other explanation. Maybe it's a gap year, and I know you don't want to take gap years when guys are 36 and 34 years old. That's not how it works. But I almost wonder if it's like, let's just get to the offseason, reevaluate when we can make trades at an easier rate because you can take in more players than you can during the season and all these things. And I kind of wonder if that's the thing is just get to the offseason, reevaluate, and we'll move on rather than take 20 cents on the dollar
of course,
for a player that, in a market where you don't know what the market is, because whoever deals first sets the market. And do you want to be the first team to do it? I don't know. They might. I don't know. They very well might just because of the Chris Paul shenanigans. So,
Will, do you think they're shaking it up that much? Do you want the clean break? I think I'm on Adam's side with the clean break. Like, if we trade one of James or Kawhi,
yeah, the Kawhi stuff is just still messy. Like, in an ideal world, yeah, if you're going to move one of them, you completely tear down and get as much value as you can get. I just don't think it's that clean. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
I think if you're a Clippers fan, just mark your calendar for the 15th,
It's Monday.
Maybe things will be better. Maybe they'll be worse.
I'll never forget asking James if this can be salvaged in the locker room after they lost to Dallas, and he goes, "What choice do we have?" And I just looked at him. I was like, "Well, it could always get worse." And he goes, "It can." And I was like, "Yeah."
That was a great exchange.
It's like, yeah, I know there's a perception of well, they'll just climb out. They don't have to. As there was when I covered the Sparks this past.
They don't have to. They don't have to climb out, dude. You're in the hole. You can stay in there if you want, bro.
Here's the thing. When I covered the Sparks this past year, one of the beat writers, John W. Davis of the Southern California News Group, I remember I was telling him, I was like, well, they can't keep losing, because they were playing well, even though they were losing. He goes, I go, they can't just keep losing. And he goes, they can. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to. They could just, it could just happen. And I was like, it's kind of stuck with me ever since. It's, no, they don't have to do anything. It could just happen. It doesn't. It is what it is. By the way, how early do we think past the 15th Chris Paul is dealt?
So is it Sunday at, is it 9 p.m. Eastern time that that it turns to the next day? How does the NBA calendar work?
They're babies over there. So I think it's probably 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, we don't sleep, but we can't deal with a 3-hour time change. They're babies over there. So I think it'll be on East Coast time with their clam pizza and whatever they do over there. Or is it? Or it could be West Coast. I don't know.
I feel like that came from an area of hatred for you. You just.
I don't even dislike the East Coast. I just hate the time change thing is funny because they're like, anyway.
You didn't know Tupac was Chuck's spiritual animal?
Yeah, that's not accurate.
His advisor in some other ways, but
Sure. I think he's gone. What teams want Chris Paul?
Not the Clippers.
Maybe the Lakers.
Dude, he would.
So-
do you think Chris Paul and JJ Redick would get along?
So here's the thing.
I mean, they've been teammates.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and how I don't know. Like
I
they'd have dueling Chat GPT battles. You can't tell me CP3 isn't on Chat
I
GPT.
I don't think it's crazy to think the Lakers, but also I don't know if the Lakers want to kind of bring a new vet in while they're trying to still
yell at. He's gonna make Dalton Connect have a mental breakdown.
Yeah. So, I mean, the aspect of CP to the Lakers is it's still LA. LeBron James is his guy,
Good
and
take right here.
and JJ was his teammate. So like, there's also that. But also, do you want to coach a guy you were teammates with?
Who is like again? We need to like. Chris Paul is a dickhead. He is very good at. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's not good at basketball. He is a dickhead, which has an effect on a workplace.
honestly, he could go wherever.
You say that affectionately.
He could go wherever and have a good season, and I still wouldn't feel like bad necessarily about the way this all turned out. Like, he's not the guy that you want in your locker room when you're losing this many games.
CP3 to Milwaukee for Amir. That's what we need.
Dude.
Chris back with Doc Rivers.
Honestly, Amir Coffey comes back. I'm back on the we're winning 50 games train.
Fans crapped on him.
Amir Coffey would be the guy. He's the kind of player when everything is going horribly. He had that 50-40-90 January a couple seasons ago. He would be the guy who's like, remember that last like post All-Star break, Amir Coffey averaged 26? It'd be the dumbest shit in the world. We would get obliterated by OKC in the first round, but it'd be kind of fun. Like,
as far as the Chris thing,
yeah, how was that your fault? Let's talk about that more. People have been asking about
what?
How the Chris Paul thing was your fault.
In what way?
Kind of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I was the one who made this happen, you know? I mean, look, without getting too deep into the weeds about the Chris Paul situation, this is the situation that can happen when a team is bad and they have veterans where guys feel compelled to keep speaking out. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying like guys are speaking up and speaking out and it can become draining. And I'm sure people have their feelings on who was in the right and who was in the wrong. I think the situation looks the way that it does for everybody. I don't think anyone is blameless here, is all I'm going to say.
100% agreed. It's a two-way street and that goes back to kind of the media thing we were talking about, right? Like everything is messy from the Clippers side, from the people they're dealing with side. Like
there's no right way to do anything when you've lost this many games. Like there's no way. And I brought this up before, like when it first happened, and we talked about it, like if the team was 500, people would be celebrating the move. It'd be like, it sucks that it happened, but like you got to do what you got to do and hope for the best for the rest of the season. Like if things weren't working out, but because the Clippers are so bad, like there's no right way to do anything.
No, what I will say is this. This is what I will say on the whole thing, and leave it at that. Is okay. So the story is Lawrence Frank makes the decision late Sunday night to release Chris Paul, or not release,
because of a plane issue. Also, the reason the timing was also because of a delayed plane, right?
Well, that was when they were supposed to have the meeting in Atlanta.
Got it. Okay.
On the Tuesday, but on Sunday night, so the Clippers played the Dallas Mavericks on a Saturday night at home. They make the decision Sunday night to basically part ways with him and bring him back home. Now, my whole thing is this, and this is what I'm just urging people to do. What happened on the plane flight on Sunday morning? They had a 10 a.m. plane flight Sunday morning from LA to Miami to play on Monday. What had to have happened to where that night, after the plane flight to Miami, that the decision is made he has to go home? All I'm asking people is to use critical thinking skills on how bad that must have been to make the decision to send a guy home after he just flew with your team for 6 hours.
That's what I've been saying since the night it happened. It's like, you guys think they wanted to do this? You think they thought this was going to be good PR? You think they didn't think about the consequences and how much blowback they were going to get? They thought of all of it, and they still felt like this was the better decision.
Yeah, my main thing has been, how bad must it have been if they knew the PR hit that they were going to take and still did it?
I think it was a Boo-Ray game gone wrong.
You're an idiot.
They're on the plane. That's what they do on the plane. Lawrence Frank was upset with how he was playing Boo-Ray, and things went awry.
On that note, guys, I got a jet.
Bye. Where are you going?
Out of here.
Just float away.
Much like Chris
Traded.
Paul, I'm out of here.
He got traded before December 15th.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, you can. Anyone on this podcast can be traded before December 15th. All right. Bye, Will.
Are
Thank
you
for
going
joining us.
to Atlanta? Is that how this
Yeah. Yeah, things are pretty hellish right now.
You know, it's kind of funny though. Like, as bad as they've been, I know they've played better recently, and they obviously still haven't won. It's just been rather fascinating to me to watch, like, the stages of how, and this is, I guess, in a morbid way, it's been fascinating to me to watch the stages of how they've been bad, because it's always been like one thing at a time that's been so bad that it's dragged everything else down. Like last night was the defensive rebounding, right? Other than that, they played great. And I'm not even talking about the ending sequence. Like,
right.
Defensive rebounding was terrible last night, but that's also because of how great Houston is at it. So
They're like
how do you
historically great at offensive rebounds.
Right. So, like, how do you even evaluate that? But the night before against Minnesota, or the game before against Minnesota, it was what? Turnovers? Is that what it was? It was something in the Minnesota game that I'm trying to remember now. It was.
They missed free throws.
That's right. Yeah.
Critical ones. That was part of it. They had an 18-point lead. Minnesota started to get hot.
The free throws, didn't they shoot like 62% that game?
Oh, yeah, 68%. They were 17 of 25. The best free throw shooting team in the league, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
And, that was the other thing. They gave up 34 free throw attempts to Minnesota because
they couldn't defend without fouling.
I don't want to sound like a person who has a gripe, but Julius Randle, what is that whistle that he gets?
It doesn't matter, would be my take. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I just like.
But I'm sorry. He elbowed a guy. He elbowed a guy in the face. He elbowed a guy in the face and still got the call.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Crazy. That sucks.
Don't
blow a fucking 18-point lead.
Agreed. Agreed.
They lose like the Bucks lost last night. Like every game, it's like, well, they have a 3rd and 28. Surely we won't get beat with the last second field goal. And then it's like, oh, like, it's just insane, dude. Like, I think big move wise, because I know they want to fire Lawrence Frank and fire Ty Lue, and I don't think that helps anything this year. I actually maybe don't think it helps anything next year. Any changes are coming at the end of the year. Ballmer is not the type of for managerial, I should say. Roster changes, I would not be surprised in 3 days if we see some trades. Managerially, I think it would be the end of the season. I don't think Ballmer's the guy to fire Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank in December.
Yeah, I agree.
This kind of
I don't think Ballmer wants stability, and he doesn't want to overreact to one bad season. When I know a lot of people feel like right now they never won the championship. They've all been bad. What do you mean? Blow it up. OKC's going to win again. That's just this season should give you an indication maybe of just how hard it is to win and what they've been doing over the years. It's not easy. The fact that they have been winning with all the injuries going on, cobbling rosters together, figuring it out, working around the parameters of having a lot of cap restrictions their way, the PG moving on from him, like they've done a really good job overall. But like Justin said earlier, maybe last year was the year everybody thought, and Vegas certainly thought they were going to have a down year. They delayed it by a year, maybe.
Well, that last stretch to avoid the play-in is absurd basketball the Clippers played. Like they put they had a playoff game every night for the most part for the last at least 5 games, right? Like that push, I think, obviously gassed them last year to the point where we get whatever the hell that game 7 was.
Whatever. I ain't buying it. They had a week off. Honestly, I can't.
They're old though.
They
I think
won
that's
that
like
series.
the cracks of their oldness showing.
They didn't come out flat in game 4 and then
Yeah.
get down 22 and all of a sudden start playing hard because they were old. They have bad habits, I think.
Yeah, and when you're old and you have bad habits, you become stubborn in them. And here we are.
All right.
Now is what I don't mean for back then. I mean now.
I do agree with you though, Chuck. I don't think they make changes, non-roster changes before the end of the season.
It'd be crazy.
I don't want to pour cold water on people's hopes, I guess, but like, I also just don't see
what is
them.
Hope?
Yeah, what is hope?
That's a Patreon episode. That's a 6-hour Patreon episode.
I don't want to throw cold water on people's prospective hopes, but like, I would be a little bit shocked if even if you get to the offseason, if Ty and Lawrence are dismissed. I genuinely think that they believe one bad year out of 15 is not enough of a reason to just get rid of people, essentially at the decision-making level. When you're 12 months removed, essentially 18 months removed, essentially from a summer where you pivoted from Paul George to all these other guys who became very helpful. And you had a great offseason that, you overshot expectations, and now you're just underperforming expectations after what you thought was a good offseason, but now has turned into a disaster offseason. And I almost wonder if this is a learning experience for them where they have realized all the good stuff from the prior offseason, they didn't repeat this offseason with younger, athletic-minded, defensive-minded guys.
Right.
And it was almost like a course correction of sorts. And now they're kind of just having to realize, hey, next summer, get back to doing what worked. None of the sentimentality and veteran type stuff. We just need to bring in guys who can play hard for 82 games, because a lot of the Clippers stuff at the end of the day comes down to they got a lot of 16 game, like you heard the term 16 game players for the playoffs. They have a lot of 16-game players. What they don't have are 82-game guys. And that's kind of the problem, I think, is I
like that.
They overshot the mark on what they thought they needed, and I think it's come back to haunt them a little bit. Like, it just is what it is. So I would be a little bit stunned if they make offseason managerial and front office changes, but, I mean...
What if they don't win a game from here until the end of the season?
I just don't think you'll see the team exist anymore.
Yeah, Bomber's like, we're done.
If you overreact to every down season, you're going to have probably a lot of turnover. There have been very few franchises that have had long-standing runs of just consistency. It's the Spurs, the Utah Jazz for a while, the Clippers here in modern times, the Lakers for some time. It's very difficult to do. And all of this comes down to something that was out of their control. If Kawhi doesn't tear his ACL, they likely win in 2021, and you can deal with seasons like this more easily with more grace and just being like, okay, we get it. It's a down year, but we got the ring. It was all worth it. We got the ring in this era. That's what's killing everybody. That they didn't get the ring and they're still being tortured with a season like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just it sucks, but it happens. Essentially is the gist of the whole thing. Is we've seen this happen to franchises before. The difference is they would get a ring out of it. Like Milwaukee got a ring out of it. And now you're seeing the ramifications of everything. The Lakers obviously got one with the Anthony Davis trade. And you start going down the pathway of like all these title winners. They generally got one because it's 7 different title winners in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, you look at how they were playing like against the Mavs before Kawhi got hurt that one year, when him and PG really, it felt like they figured it out to the optimum level of how to play together.
But that also drives home the thought that I've had for a while, which is when it's your year, you have to win it because very much likely you're not getting that year again. Like the team I go back to, oddly enough, is the Warriors in 2022, where like they get the incredible Jordan Poole year, they get the incredible Andrew Wiggins year, they get the once in a lifetime Otto Porter Jr. non-injury season,
Right. Yeah.
and they win the title in 6 games against Boston. And look what's happened to them since. Like they've dealt with stuff. So it's one of those things where like when it's your year, you got to strike while the iron's hot, or you're just not doing it. Like obviously we could point to the Raptors in 2019, the Lakers in 2020, the Bucks in 21, the Warriors in 22, and in some cases, the Nuggets in 23. They haven't made it back that far, obviously. Like they've been snake bitten by stuff here and there. So when it is your time, you got to get it done. Simple as that. And they haven't, whether through injuries or their own mistakes or a combination of them. Like it just is what it is.
I think there was a funny thing too in terms of fan reaction. Law Murray tweeted this out, but he was like, a lot of these Clippers fans just aren't used to seeing what these Clippers used to be.
Correct.
Which is like, if you're a bandwagon fan when you came over, that's fine. I'm nothing against bandwagon fans. I'm from a state where there's no professional teams.
Oh, I thought you were going to say no running water.
I'll fucking kill you, dude. So, but like when you join a team that makes a big, like, if you're a new Clippers fan, I can understand the frustration because you're like, what the hell happened here? We won 50, you know what I mean? Like, but that's also, you got to get used to it because most of sports is losing.
What's the phrase? There's only one winner every year.
I mean, it's not like,
it's just so many things outside of your control that you
Yeah.
need to go your way still. And blaming, the front office or a coach or a player for a lot of that stuff, there's blame to go around, but you still need some luck. And when you're factoring in, how much you want to criticize an organization, I would say you should think about the good fortune aspect of it that's out of your control. And I think they did I think 2021 was their year. I was afraid the ACL tear was always going to be that defining point, line of demarcation or whatever, where it's like this is really, when you look back on it, the end. It happened in 2021.
They had a 2-year window. It was the bubble year, which obviously they didn't know they were going to have to go into a bubble, but it happened. And then there was 21. Like those were the 2 years. And then once he tore his ACL,
a bubble year, dude.
So two things out of your control: bubble, ACL.
Yeah, I mean, they did what they could. It just didn't work out. Sometimes that's life. So it's funny because you bring up like Law saying that about fans just are not used to it. That's where like I know everyone kind of like laughs at the 14 straight winning seasons, but that's what it bred was an entire generation of fans who just haven't seen the team be bad.
Right.
And this is before that run, it was a terrible franchise. Like the losingest franchise in sports.
And owned by a huge, very terrible person.
That's underselling it, but all right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah. And look, it happens, and they have been bad until this run, and now you're seeing. This is also like, Adam, you said like blow it up. Like this is my only issue, I think, and I'm not saying my issue with you saying that, but like my issue with fans who are
Adam's like, I got some receipts right here, dude. I came prepared for this onslaught.
Don't worry, I'll correct you afterwards. Hold on.
Classic
okay.
Russo gotcha journalism. You wait an hour and 20 minutes. You lull us to sleep with your good nature.
Russo finds out,
No. Hey, you of all people right now should not be aligning yourself with Pablo Torre.
After the Nick Wright thing? Is it the Nick Wright thing right there? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. But what I was going to say is like, this is why when I see, because I'll get the messages every now and then, like on Twitter or whatever, is, they need to like just trade everyone and just build around the young guys and just like kind of just let it organically build. The problem with that is everybody thinks they're built for that until you're 4 years in watching a 24-win team do nothing and you have no young guys, and it just is just miserable. The reason I know that is because I watched the Charlotte Hornets willingly. And up until this year, I would have actually said they had no direction. And then they get Con Knipple, and he's goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just full stop. But, like, that's the thing, though. Is it how many years did it take them to get him? And look what's happened to the Kings outside of 1 or 2 years. Or, you know, you look at the Utah Jazz, and that's another thing. So...
Well, it goes back to it's so hard to win. It's so hard to win. And maybe when you're looking at this season and how difficult it's been this season, I know with all the losing, it's like, I know it sucks. They didn't win the championship, but it's hard to do what they have been doing too.
Yeah. It's
look at Washington. Like they've been, you can have the teardowns all you want. I completely agree with you. The draft is a crapshoot. Go back to any draft and look through it. And then remember what guys were saying in comps in the top 10. I remember I looked from 2006 to 2016. And there was a 25% chance during that time of you drafting an all-star in the top 10. In the top 10, there was a 25% chance.
Damn.
So it was 100 guys drafted in the top 10 over that 10-year period. 25 of them became all-stars. It's really difficult. It's really hard. Everybody thinks during the draft, oh, this guy's surefire. Oh, okay. You can't go wrong with this guy. Yeah. You go back and look at the drafts, there's misses all over the place.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's not a science, essentially.
Sometimes you don't even know how tall the guy you're drafting is. Shout out Daniel Oturu. I think on that note, I think I do have to tap out.
That's fine.
I can't dedicate any more time talking about the Clippers. I
was
love
that
hanging out
the
with you guys.
real quick? Was the Oturu game in OKC? Was that the
when he got blocked 7 times?
Excuse me, it was 8. Let's be correct here.
Damn, real journalism.
Wow.
Yeah. Was
Fraud
that the
alert.
Was that the turning point in both franchises?
It might have been that 8th block.
Like, just oh shit.
That or when we gave them 6 picks.
Tough to say then.
It was probably the picks,
Tough
but I could be convinced of the 8th block.
You know what's a crazy turning point? And then we do have to get out of here is and this is a completely different sport. If you look at when the Dolphins beat the Broncos and they put up 70 points.
Yes, I saw that the other day.
That was literally when both the Broncos started going up and the Dolphins just started going fucking down.
I saw someone post about that the other day, and you were the first person I thought of, and I was like, I can't send this to him.
You can. It's fine. I'm aware of it. I live with a very diehard Broncos fan. All right, we are out of here. Thank you to everyone for hanging out. We maybe just made you more upset, but that's fine. It's fun to have the passion. Cheer on the guys if you're at the game, unless they give up a 30-2 run, in which case do whatever the hell you want. Justin Russo, thank you for hanging out. Where can people find your wonderful stuff?
You can find me on Twitter at FLYBYKNITE. You can find me on Substack at justinrusso.substack.com. I will apologize. I haven't written anything in like a week. It's not because I'm apathetic towards the team. I'm
furious at your output.
I tend to take like a week break during December to kind of like recalibrate shit. So yeah. It's one of those situations.
What do you mean? You get stressed out? You get stressed out during the holidays? What the hell are you talking about?
Even when they're winning, I get stressed out during the holidays with shit. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for covering the team. We need
good job, Justin.
The coverage
Thank
is fantastic.
Thank
Adam, you. We are going to put this on audio, so you do have to do the hardest thing in the world. Promote your show and give us one positive thing to send these Clippers fans into their weekend for.
Later tonight, Fox Sports Radio. Anywhere nationally, listen to it on the iHeartRadio app. Follow me at Follow Adam A. I'll post some links. But the positive thing here, well, home sweet home. You know, we got off to a slow start at home last season, and then things turned around and into a dome. Can we do the same here? Be nice if Monday night was a turning point against Memphis, who they've had 2 brutal losses to in the last couple of weeks. We do need Clipper Nation to give this team a lift. Like, hey, I understand you're a paying fan. you do what you want within reason. There are some disclaimer stuff at the bottom of your ticket you should probably read. But
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, honestly, actually, yes, please do
Yes.
read that.
But I hope you will give this team a chance and give them a lift out there, because they have been playing hard. They just continue to lose games late. Can you help push them over the finish line? Drag them across the finish line. That's what we need on Monday night against Memphis.
Should fans courtside be holding little Gatorade cups like at marathons
Like a marathon
for the players? Like
and gel,
just
goo.
hand it out.
Yeah, some marathon goo. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. We'll be back next week to talk about hopefully not a new low. That is our goal for every week. Let's just not have a new low. I have been Chuck Mockler. William Updike says thank you.